So there's too many variables to this 21 days change a habit thing. It's a very individual process. I have worked on things in my life for years. Years. Finally, I just said, I'm so happy I don't want it any longer. That's the moment it happened. So, it's difficult to give an answer to that because there's too many different variables, and I don't want to mislead people. But what I do know is that it's happening in a shorter amount of time because a collective consciousness, a group of people are all moving in one direction, and they're taking people with them. They're laying footprints down for others to step into. And do I think it's going to happen more? Do I think it's going to be the new normal? That's my hope. Information is so readily available in our world right now that in an age of information, ignorance is a choice. So you don't need an authority to gain information any longer. You don't need a priest. You don't need a governor. You don't need a doctor. You don't need a teacher. You can access information at your fingertips. So then as you begin to discern the information with discernment, the proper and right information, you begin to develop some type of empowerment because all of a sudden you're seeing possibilities that you never saw before without that information. So you wake up and you become more aware. So the knowledge creates awareness, awareness creates consciousness, consciousness and energy are connected. So there's a change in energy globally going on with the world. Now that knowledge and that change of energy has effects on paradigms that are no longer a vibrational match with that new level of consciousness. So you see a political system unraveling. You see economic systems unraveling. They're unspiraling, they're unraveling. They can't sustain themselves with this new energy. You see journalism, the environment, education, religion, medicine is all unraveling because something greater has to come as a result of a change in consciousness. Now, no victims here, because when you and I negotiated from a soul level to be here at this time, this is the time we've been waiting for. This is where it's happening in the Milky Way. It's happening here because there's a true coming of a new consciousness. It's not one person that's coming. It's a group, it's a collective consciousness that's emerging. And emergence is one mind, one heart. And the way you control people is you give them misinformation based on emotions. You control people by controlling their emotions. And media and television and advertisement is a great seduction. That people can watch the news and get really angry, then change the channel, and watch a football game and get very excited, then change the channel and watch a sitcom and laugh, and change the channel and watch a drama, and you can change your emotional state because of technology. So then it means then most people are relying consciously or subconsciously on things outside of them to make them feel a certain way. And yet, because there's such a persistence in this energy, when the feeling goes away from that stimulation, here comes that other feeling again. And the energy is accelerating those feelings. So you can talk about the consciousness of the planet, you can talk about solar flares, coronal ejections, the center of the universe lining up, all these end of a cycle. All of this energy is endorsing who you're being, period. So you want to be a victim? Get ready. The energy is going to support you in that. You are going to live it fully if you're truly engaged in human transformation, and you're truly engaged in opening your heart, truly engaged in the supernatural and the mystical, and you're sincere. That energy is going to thrust you to that outcome, to that end. They're actually waiting for their health to improve to feel gratitude. Right. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel joy and gratitude and thankfulness.
They're waiting for the new career to happen. And once it happens, then they celebrate and feel gratitude. Well, if you believe that your thoughts and feelings produce an effect in your life, and you're living in the lack every single day waiting for it to happen, you're separate from the experience, right? So if you think about the emotional signature of gratitude, when you are receiving something that you like, that's pleasurable, you've just gotten or received something that is pleasurable, something just happened to you, or something's happening to you that you like, you say thank you, you feel gratitude. So the emotional signature of gratitude is that something has already happened. And it is the absolute perfect state of receiving. It is the absolute state of receivership. So here's an example. A person gets a diagnosis. The diagnosis is something like cancer. The first moment they hear that word, they feel fear. They feel a change in their internal state, and they pay attention to what the doctor says. They take a snapshot, and they create that memory. They will remember the moment the doctor said that. So now they're in fear, they're scared, and they're going to think positively. Or they'll say, I'm going to beat this thing. Well, if they're feeling fear, they can only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to their emotional state. That fear thoughts will be the only ones that will make it in there. Now, if the person changes fear to gratitude, as an example, and they really start training the heart, we can measure when a person feels gratitude, what happens to their heart. The heart gets regulated, starts beating more coherently, it starts increasing energy to the brain, it starts creating an ambient field around the body. This is when your heart starts working for you. That when a person starts feeling gratitude, then the emotional signature in the body is that something's happening to them, or something's just happened to them. So if you're in a state of gratitude, you're in a state of receiving, then the thoughts that you think will make it to the body and program the autonomic nervous system into a different destiny. So just in 4 days, we found that when people, 10 minutes a day, for 4 days, traded anger, frustration, fear, all those limited emotions for gratitude, that their immune system improved by 50%. They made immunoglobulins that made their body stronger. Now if a pharmaceutical company had a drug that could strengthen immunoglobulin A in your body, it would be on every television commercial during the news, and yet your body, your nervous system's the greatest pharmacist there is. So then, your body is objective. It's your unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between a real-life experience that creates an emotion and the emotion that you're creating by thought alone. So if your body is feeling gratitude, it's believing that something's happening to you. So in the beginning you go, well, I'm going to try gratitude, and then you think, well, this feels really weird. Why would I give gratitude until it happens? Well, because that's how you've been hypnotized. You've been programmed that way. But what if you change it around? The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel grateful for your life is going to change. Now you're causing an effect. So we have to embrace the emotion before it happens. Now, why? Well, let's just say you just did a great meditation and your heart is blown wide open and you feel grateful for life. Or you're connected to the emotions of your new career, your new job, your new life. If you're feeling the feeling that your new life has already happened, you wouldn't be looking for it any longer. You would be feeling like it's already happened, so you wouldn't look and be separate from it. You would feel connected to it. And then if you lost it and you started feeling angry because of traffic, I'd say, oh my God, you're back to the unconscious program again of allowing something outside of you to control your feelings and thoughts. You're back to that victimization program. So then when you start playing this game, and you catch yourself and you self-correct, and you get back into gratitude and feeling it, then your body is no longer preoccupied of when it's going to happen or where it's going to happen. If you feel it, it feels like it's already happened. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So if you have all of your attention in the present moment, you're conserving a lot of energy to create with. If I'm talking to you and you're thinking about where you're going to go for lunch and who you're going to go with and how you're going to get there, and I'm talking to you, you left the present moment and your attention went to some future. And your energy will go down, and you won't be able to comprehend what I said. if you start thinking about what you should have said at the staff meeting 3 days ago, and I'm talking to you and your mind is back in the past, you're siphoning energy out of the present moment into the past. So people are constantly siphoning their energy into a familiar past or a predictable future because that's where their attention is. And the stronger the emotions that we feel to certain problems and conditions in our life, the more we pay attention to them. So we give our power away to our ex. We give our power away to that big problem. And that's creative energy that we should be able to use to create a new future. So then when a person's sitting in a meditation and they're doing absolutely nothing, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and their body for the last 10 years has been going in traffic and getting angry and frustrated in traffic, and now they're sitting in a meditation at 8 o'clock in the morning, the body's going to say, hey, you're off schedule. I'm used to suffering and getting angry here. Yeah. So the body's going to start looking for that emotion, and it's going to start influencing the mind, and you're going to start getting images and memories, just so you could feel that emotion. Like now the person's back in the past. But if they become aware that they're siphoning energy out of the present moment into the past, and they settle the body back down into the present moment, that's a victory.